push back a bit on that. The Biden administration has carried on selling weapons to Taiwan, though with a 2-year delay from agreement to actual delivery. And there is more training going on between U.S. forces and Taiwanese forces. So it does seem like there is some level of support. I don't think the Biden administration is telegraphing that it would just allow a Chinese invasion to happen.
Look, let's be factual here. Let's be real here. How many weapons have been supplied free to Ukraine? At last count, zero. How many advanced weapons have been supplied to Taiwan as compared to Ukraine? Now, I mean, a few. The reality is, and let's be honest, I mean, I know, we all know, we have our own source of intel and information as to what's going on there. The reality is, judging by the need, and let's say, for example, I'm not well, I need a certain amount of medication, and I'm given 1/5 that amount of medication. It's super medication, but it's 1/5 of what I need. I'm not going to get better. I'm not saying the Biden administration is not transferring weapons to Ukraine. Yes, it's delaying. The fact is, it's not transferring enough advanced weapons, it's not transferring some advanced weapon systems, and it's not transferring them enough. In other words, you're giving me medication which is 1/5 of what I need to get cured. So please, again, let's be real on this. Look at what's happening in Ukraine. You are flooding Ukraine with free weapons. You are flooding Ukraine with weapons, period. Hundreds of billions of dollars. How many billions of dollars have you spent in Taiwan in aid? And is it because China is a much smaller threat than Russia? Is it because the threat to Taiwan is less than the threat to Ukraine? The Ukraine situation is the Russians have been consolidating what they have had effectively since 2014 in Taiwan, since 2021, since Joe Biden came to power. They have systematically violated Taiwanese airspace, sea space, cyberspace. Look at TikTok. Who's studying TikTok? In India, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2020 banned TikTok. You study TikTok in Taiwan and the insidious way it is working to basically change the minds. Good. They change the minds of the Taiwanese people, and this is the problem that they're facing. They're facing an invasion of their mind space, their cyberspace, in an adversary that is way, way bigger and more powerful than Russia. And they're getting assistance way, way less than what is being provided to Ukraine. So the question is, what makes Ukrainian different from Taiwanese? I'd like to know.
Well, so if the perception in India is that the U.S. is not a reliable partner to Taiwan in the face of China, what hope is there that the United States could be a reliable partner with India to counter China?
Look, as far as we are concerned, obviously India and Taiwan are quite different. But of course, the defense of Taiwan is important to defense of all of us as democracies. Certainly to all 4 members of the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, definitely. But it's an entirely different situation in India. For one thing, we are the one country since the Vietnamese in 1979 who have had casualties, fatalities as a consequence of the PLA. And the PLA has also been inflicted fatalities by our soldiers. Our estimate by satellite data was that it was 60 and odd. The Russians jumped up and claimed about 55. The Chinese claimed 0, then 2, then 4, then 6. We stick to our stand of 60. Don't forget, our troops have been killed in battle at the hands of Chinese soldiers. I don't know if any other country can be in that position. And we have a huge land border, we have a huge sea border to protect. So our situation, and secondly, we are a nuclear power. I remember the days of the Clinton administration when Bill Clinton, all he was looking at was basically transferring Kashmir to Pakistan and blocking India from missiles and nuclear weapons. Let me tell you, we would have been attacked and badly attacked by China, but for the fact that our nuclear weapons and their platforms can reach any part of China from any part of the Indian Ocean. Thank God we didn't listen to the very forcible methods used by Bill Clinton, and he had an assistant secretary of state, Robin Raphael, who was obnoxiously, against India. And she believed India was a Hindu country, just as a lot of people in the New York Times and Washington Post and CNN also think. We are a country of 1.42 billion people. 200 million of that are Muslims. About 38 million are Christians. We are not just a Hindu country, and we are a syncretic country with a syncretic culture. And if you look at the Western media, genocide, it's always imminent genocide. From the time Narendra Modi came as Prime Minister in 2014, it's always been genocide is imminent in India. For God's sake, it's 2023. It's nearly 10 years. This imminent genocide has not yet happened. What is the meaning of imminence? From my very limited knowledge of the English language, it means it's going to happen very soon. And are you telling me that any sane person will claim that 200 million people can be just wiped out? Is that even physically possible? Of course not. You had that horrible genocide of the Nazis, and a very brilliant community was wiped out by. I mean, he's not even a human being, Hitler. But look, we are talking of 200 million people in every street in India, in every village in India. And you have the New York Times, you have the Washington Post, you have CNN, you have people in the Biden White House, you have the State Department officials. Oh my God, India on the brink of genocide, on the brink of genocide. And again, don't forget what you talk to your European colleagues, what you talk to others, what you talk to yourselves. They will talk about it. They will write about it. They'll do their personal things about it, and it comes back. And these people in authority are talking about an imminent genocide that has not happened at all in any way since 2014. The riot data show very clearly the riots have come down. There are riots. We have 1.4 billion people. There are crazy things that happen. For example, we had preachers coming here from the United States who called the Hindu gods by a name which I'm not going to use on this channel. Those preachers called Hindu goddesses that belonging to some kind of activity which I'm not going to talk on this channel. A few people got very angry at that. Now, if somebody were to come from India and go to some parts of, say, Alabama and Tennessee and talk in the same way about some, sacred figures of the Christian faith, I'm not very sure that it would take a long time for gunshots to ring out. So the fact is, please, this is a conscious effort to try and distance India from the people of the United States, the people of the West, at a time when we both need each other to fight this common enemy, which is China.